Morning, I'm at Lake Eden. It's a beautiful day today, sun shining. It's been a while since I've been out taking photos of birds, and I've talked about subject tracking in the past before and how I didn't feel that it was accurate enough to use it all the time, or even the majority of the time, to take photos of birds. But I've had comments and I've had people saying, well, Charles, you should give it another go. So this morning I'm out here and I'm going to give subject tracking another go. I know the Nikon Z6II is superb for subject tracking. A friend of mine has a Z6II and it's amazing, but not everybody can afford going out and buying a new camera. Because if they have the Z6II and they want to upgrade to the Z6III, that's quite a bit of money to fork out, because the Z6II is getting old. It's getting long in the tooth. You're not going to get much money from it. My Z6II has over 120,000 actuations. It's getting on. Sure, it's mirrorless, but the camera is getting old. So I've looked at it and said, well, if I was going to upgrade, I would actually look at the Z5 Mark II. But the reality is that the Z6II that I have with the Nikon 200-500, and when I use the 1.4 teleconverter, does me fine. Because of my condition with the shakes and all that, I don't photograph too many birds that are in flight or moving very quickly. So I'm quite content. But that doesn't mean that I shouldn't try to improve myself and improve the way that I photograph birds. So this is what I'm going to do this morning. I've got my Photo Pro tripod with the gimbal here because I want a stable platform so I can track birds. I'm also using my old Samsung S10 to record what I'm seeing, so you can see how subject tracking works and how good or how bad it is. This is the best way to show you. I'm recording everything here, so when I take photos of birds, you're going to see how subject tracking works. Let's get to it. We've got quite a few birds in front of us. It's early in the morning, around 8:45. They're not moving too much, but I've got a few hours to spend here this morning. Let's just see what we can photograph with subject tracking. Let's see, come on, jump out, yes. Now let's move away from it and let's see. See, this is the problem, look. Tracks now, this is a stationary hardhead duck. Let's see if it follows, see? It follows it a bit, but if I go quickly, look, it can't keep up. And this is on just continuous high. If I tried continuous high extended, we go continuous high extended. Look at that. It actually tracks better in continuous high extended. Let's go back to continuous high. Let's try the same thing. Lock onto the hardhead duck. Now that is weird, eh? Okay, try again. Continuous high extended. So this is 14 frames per second. Okay, there's a duck moving towards me over there. It's very small on the frame because I'm not using the TC this morning, the teleconverter. Nah, look at that. It's just all over the place. It's just not locking on. This is what I face all the time. It is just a pain. But let's find a duck that's moving, that's close to me. Okay. There you go. Look, doesn't track, does it? Okay. Okay, there you go. It tracked. Let's see. Go backwards. There we go. That focused? Yep. I'm shooting at 1600. I'm going to take this up to 2.5 thousandths of a second. Just wait for it to come back up. And there it is. Look at that. It's just all over the place. But for some reason, when it's in the water, it just gets... Look, it just loses it. So you've already seen how unpredictable subject tracking is, and this is why I don't use it. But I'm not going to give up. And did you see that at 5.5 frames per second, continuous high, subject tracking is less reliable than when I'm using subject tracking in continuous high extended, which for me, shooting at 12-bit RAW, is 14 frames per second. But did you notice that when I was trying to photograph the Pacific black duck that was stationary, but there was reflections on the water, that the subject tracking was just going all over the place. It just wouldn't stay on the duck. But when I focused on the duck that was lying down, there wasn't any reflections. It was able to detect the duck properly, and the subject tracking didn't move. The focus didn't try to move around. These are all the problems that we face when we use subject tracking on the Z6II. And this is why I don't use it. But this morning, it's all about trying to see, like, is it reliable? And it's a 50-50, but I'm not going to give up. And I'll move further down the lake because there's a lot of noise here. You can see the council's got their whippersnippers out, they're cleaning the park. There's a lot of background noise. So I'm going to pack up here and move further up the lake where there's less noise. Hopefully there's some birds up there. And let's see if we can see that subject tracking is reliable. Well, I walked all the way to the top of Lake Eden. There wasn't any birds around. There was one egret right in the middle of the lake. So what I took early on, we'll have to do. But I hope what I captured shows you why, even to this day, I don't use subject tracking, because it is not reliable. If subject tracking for birds or for wildlife is very important to you, then either look at the Z652 or look at the Z6III. I would look at the Z652 because it gives you bang for your bucks and it has everything that you need. In reality, the money that I would save between the Z652 and the Z6III makes the Z652 a better proposition. And it means I've got a bit more money in the bank, which I can use for other photography needs. Thanks for watching. If you've got any comments or feedback, leave it in the description below and I'll answer your comments or feedback. Enjoy your wildlife photography and I'll see you next time.